We coming. All right. We coming. We coming. We coming. We coming. We coming. All right. We coming. We coming. We coming. All right.
All right. Welcome back to another premiere episode of Primarily Speaking, the show where we love to talk shit and speak our mind on a plethora of topics from random news, politics, sports and entertainment, our meat and potatoes, and our favorite segment, Sit Your Ass Down. Now, I am your host with the most, man with the gas, Mr. Popping Two Quarters. Let me get in that ass. It is your boy Prime, Anazul to the 25.
No doubt, cuz that's what I'm talking about. And y'all know I am the Total Package Rex Devereaux. A Port City original, definitely one of downtown's finest, doing it again. And we got some people on the show we want to introduce y'all to.
That's right, baby. Y'all already know who it is. It's your down south Georgia boy, built coming in here, red clay molded, down south raised, baby. Giving you nothing back. Pass it out to my brother on the right. What up?
Yo, it's your boy Q, the Bocce, Mr. Alabama, in this motherfucker again with the 9-pound hammer.
Oh man, and I have to introduce y'all to a guest we have today. This guy, he hails from Charlotte by way of Orangeburg, South Carolina. Proud alumni of South Carolina State University. He is a proud father and husband. Also member of the Qs and the 100 Black Men of Charlotte. I want to introduce y'all to Dirty D.
Dirty D.
Give that man a round of applause, Brian. Give him a round of applause.
They appreciate it.
Give him a round of applause.
He gets gunshots.
I don't have
Y'all got sound effects.
Yeah, we working with it, man. We working our way up. We trying. He ain't perfect.
Hey, I'm proud to be with y'all boys, man.
Thank you for joining us, man. Fellas, another week in the can, man. How's everybody doing? Rex, how was your week so far, sir?
Rex's week has been fabulous. Rex has had a good time this week, playing with Rex's kids, and just doing this thing. So Rex has really had a fantastic week, man. How was your week, Brown?
Oh man, great motherfucking week, dog. I've done fucking nothing in day. I've been behind the laptop playing all day.
You say that again?
I've done nothing. I've been behind the laptop playing all fucking day.
Playing all day. Oh man, how about you, Hannibal?
Well, I can tell you that the young man Hannibal is a very caring and nice young man. Therefore, the niceness, the karma has been good for that young man this week. And he was able to have a great week. Just outside looking in on Hannibal, coming down and seeing him rise from the ashes this week at work and come back and, return with great things and positiveness all the way around. I tell you what, that guy Hannibal, he's on to doing big things. I tell you that.
Hold on. Are we doing a Derrick Jackson spoof or something? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Fucking it up, bro. You fucking
That dude is an inspiration, man. We all should aspire to be just like him.
That's what the women want.
All right. Dirty D, man. How has your week been, sir?
Man, the week has been great. I had an opportunity to change some people's opinion about certain things and spend some time with the family, talk to my sister for about an hour this week, which is always enlightening. Your wife, sorry to say it that way, but that's what it is. And life has been good, man. The kids are great. Get to hang with some cool brothers on a Sunday. Toast to everybody on the call today. So I'm blessed. So
yes, sir. Cling.
Appreciate it. That's what's up.
Yes, sir. My week has been all right. Okay. I had some bad news in the family. Had one of my aunts passed away this week, which was pretty sad, but it's not as bad as it may sound, it was kind of more of a situation where she's in a better place than what she's been dealing with. So, I'm not completely sad about it. It's unfortunate, but just working through it, man. I also did a snack crate with my daughter this actually we did it today. We got it from Sweden, and hey, Sweden got some good snacks, man. I just want to throw that out there real quick. Sweden got some real good snacks, man. They chocolate is like the best chocolate to me. I don't know how anybody else.
Whoa, hold up now, cuz you gotta come on now. Just don't just run out like that. Now. Don't just run out.
Rich
I'm
dark chocolate.
saying, man.
That is it. That the rich dark chocolate that what got you?
No, I don't do rich dark chocolate. No, milk chocolate, baby.
No, you know,
Milk chocolate. That's what
you know his body.
Oh, he
So yeah, man. So yeah, that's wrap up for our week, whatever you want to say, man. Let's go ahead and jump on into some of our random topics. Now, you guys came in kind of hot with your little soliloquy there about your boy Derek Jackson. So we gotta start off with him. Everybody has heard about Derek Jackson and his lying ass. And we talked about him. We actually talked about him last week, right? If I'm not mistaken, didn't we talk about him last week? Didn't we speak
Did
on
we touch on that guy last week? I don't think so. I mean, probably a little bit, but he deserved a little bit more anyway. So
Let's give him some more. Let's give him some more heat. Let's give him some more heat, y'all.
Yeah.
Dumbass
No
out here
doubt.
speaking in third person about himself. Yeah, man, he's an asshole, man. Rex, I want to hear what you got to say about your boy Derek Jackson.
action. Jackson.
Well, yeah, actually, Rex kind of forgot about that guy, and he remembered one video in particular, and it was just some just disgusting advice. And I was just notified last night how old the young man was. I thought he was older than he was, but for the longest time, and I didn't even realize he had books, self-help books, videos, and all this stuff. I'm like, y'all allowing this dude to tell y'all what to do? This guy? And I'm glad he getting some heat held on his ass, man, because he turned it up on us, and made them ladies been like, yeah, we want to do like Derek Jackson. Yeah, go ahead, do your thing, man. Go ahead, do your thing. But as far as that, I mean, that guy's a bum. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, I mean, Hannibal, what do you think about the cat? Because you probably know a little bit more about him than I do.
I just want to say this. We told y'all, I ain't gonna say it. Y'all know what I was gonna say. I ain't gonna say it.
Told him that nigga wasn't shit, right? We told him about that. His ass wasn't shit.
We told all.
Hey, 30D man, since I think you might have been when we had a opinion on this, man. I don't hear what you got to say.
My motto has always been, it's just marketing. He's just selling a brand. He's just putting it out there. And first, he's a man. I mean, he's an individual who, I mean, let's think about this being real. Anytime someone give pimp to the game and what's happening, eventually we know that he's a man. So honestly, I just don't really give a damn about him, because it just goes back into that cycle about, hey, he gave some advice and helping some women get through their pain. But the reality is, it's a show. It was social media. I keep telling my kids this: social media is not real. It's only it's the facade of who they want people to see. And that's how I manage that with my life. That's how I manage that shit with. I had a lady at work ask me about that shit, and I was like, how did he change your life? Period. And she was like, well, he gave me some relief, throughout the week when I was dealing with some shit. I was like, well, did you really apply the shit he told you, or he gave you a relief on your bullshit? And she was like, well, he gave me relief on my bullshit. And I was like, that's what it is. I'm one of them dudes. I can say a curse word on here. Yeah. I'm one of these dudes. I'm like, fuck them. Because the reality is, he had his old lady sitting there on the side with that damn turban or whatever that shit she had on her head,
Yo, hostage.
Hold
and just sitting beside her.
Get your beret.
That was her,
Yeah,
her bonnet.
beret. But my point is that he was trying to save face. All he was doing is trying to save face to keep up his damn views. Fuck him, dog.
I heard
You know?
somebody say he gonna have to get a job now.
on. No.
Nope.
All right, so check this out. Dude did all of that, right? He came out, everybody called him, you know, some female that he felt betrayed or whatever. Like, I don't know how you put that much in stock. But what dude was, all he was doing was talking about himself.
I know you ain't believe what he was saying, right?
Huh?
You ain't believe
No.
none of the shit he was saying, right?
No.
I'm talking to Hannibal.
None of us did. So we saw through it. But the thing is that one, he did it. And all of this, he brought light and more streams to that weird ass church that he go to. Where, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all seen the clip where they talk about get rid of the oral sex demon. That's the church that he goes to.
Wow, he a church goer and he got books to put up.
Well, the pastor of his church is Ned Citronelli.
Yeah.
He had that, like he said, that the lady was in a little clip or whatever, and he was telling her to release that oral demon spirit from
Oral
you.
sex demon.
Oral sex demon from you.
Yeah. And then she
The oral sex thing.
one of the crazy parts in there was he said, "Oh, that demon came back and got me, and we had sex again, and now my privates are itching." And he just spray on the vagina area.
He just full of shit.
Pretty much.
All he is.
You gotta think about the church. You gotta think about the church. So that's one thing. Two, this dude been busted again because the last video that he recorded when he did it in third person, you know, about
Then he had like 40 something videos or something like that. He had like
he was
30
outside
or
of
40
he was
videos of me or
outside
something.
the
wasn't it?
third girl's house. Not only is he a lying, manipulative asshole, he's also a terrible liar.
Did they say how many women that he had? He already he get a lot of women. They had a number or something like that, a count.
Well, I think the actual people who came out count is at 3 now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, all of it's bad. But I mean, see, like 3 is any better than
Yeah,
40?
you did.
But-
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
That been a snap reaction, dog. Oh man, that's it. Man, nigga ain't got no holes, man.
Like that, man. And I think he did that because he told the third one he did a gag order. Matter of fact, after he did the video with his wife, he called the third one and
He
told
didn't
her
even
not
have
to speak to anybody because he's like a blogger named Tasha K and his wife were coming after him, so you can't speak to the media and like that. So that's how she found out.
Yeah, he didn't even have to tell. He don't even watch. He don't get on social media.
But yeah, that's so yeah. Apparently, your boy had a book deal with TD Jakes or something like that. That's what he's trying to protect. That's why he did all the videos, came out, did third person shit.
Fuck 'em.
Again, brothers, that's why I say fuck them, man, because it's all fake. It's all about trying to get views, and it's a perception. I mean, it's sad because the truth is he did speak some truth to life and there's certain things that's been happening. The point is that a lot of us, we forget that a lot of times when we give inspiration, it comes from hurt or pain or our failure. It's a great quote that I live my life on, is that if you can judge someone else without looking within yourself, all you're doing is throwing stones. And it's a homage of all of the stuff that I've learned in my life being a Christian. But the truth is, the people who give the best advice are those who are broken. They've been through shit. You know what I mean? So with Derek, I'm just like, fuck it, dog. If you'd have been true and say, listen, I ain't perfect. I don't do nothing right. I'm a real nigga trying to do what I gotta do, get paid. He would have had more followers than what he has right now.
He preached this whole perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody
Ain't
know
nobody
that's bullshit.
perfect.
Everybody know that's bullshit.
Yeah. I call him the modern day Jimmy and Tammy Faye Baker. That's what I call him.
Oh man, now that's mean right there.
It's real.
That's real mean.
He had to learn a lesson. 31-year-old man, he learned a lesson today. Do not go out there and fake what you're not, son. Be real.
Speaking about lessons, here's a lesson that somebody learned about an automotive company that they used to work for. That you don't fuck with them. Just getting up and leave. So apparently, a guy named Andreas Flatten, whatever. He's from Peachtree City, Georgia. He quit his job or fired, whatever he did back in November 2020. And the job still owed him $915 for his last paycheck. So with the people, he been calling trying to get his money, and what they decided to do, they said, man, you know what? You want your money? Here, your fucking money. They dropped his whole $915, all in pennies, not just pennies, but oily pennies at the end of his driveway with a note that said, fuck you. Tell me that ain't some bullshit. Tell me that ain't some shit, man. Tell me that ain't some shit.
You gotta
bro.
You
I
gotta
love that.
That's crazy as hell, man. Brown, man. What you got to say?
That's bad.
That's
Bad business.
That's so fucked up. Man, man.
So the man can't even pick the shit up.
What are you gonna do? Oh man, that's messed up, man. That was messed up. But anyway, moving on.
Now no, hold up, Terrence. No, your boy said something very insightful. Oily pennies. You can't take that to the bank right away. You got to clean all that stuff off. So
yeah, that's why they did that shit.
Yeah. So you got over 90,000 pennies. So $900 is like 90,000 pennies in a wheelbarrow covered with oil. So the bank won't take the money because it's dirty. So you got to clean it all up before you actually take it to the bank to change it into. Dog, they did him so dirty. I don't even want to be known as Dirty D no more, man.
Hey man, for real, hey, that's the pettiest shit I have ever heard before in my life. I dare anybody else to find a more pettier story than that, man.
Oh,
please.
I got a petty story for you. I shared that petty story with y'all. Remember that one, the video with the guy that
yeah,
the driving instructor or whatever. He was on that TV show, and he was like, has anybody ever did something wrong to you or whatever? And he was like, yeah, there's a guy that cut me off back in the days. I think he said it was a long time ago. And he said, I knew who the guy was. And I remembered who he was. And because of him, he started becoming a driving instructor so that he could come on the show and give him pointers on driving. And he said, how does that donut taste or something like that? He said, yeah, Mark, how's that donut taste? Pretty good, ain't it? That's super petty, man.
Man,
man, you got some petty people out there, man. Oh wow. Man, that pettiness, bro. He's just so funny, man.
Oh man, but anyway, man, we gonna carry.
I'm sorry, Terrence. That shit was funny to me. That's petty. You can't even claim the money. You can't even claim your money because you got to clean it.
Right.
You should go buy something that costs exactly $900 and pay them back right with them same fucking pennies. That we should have did. Oh shit. Moving on. Next story. Headmaster John Holian of a Catholic school in Long Island makes a kid's name is Tristan Paul, made him kneel and apologize. And the reason why he made him apologize because the kid was in class. He didn't finish his work. He just went on to the next lesson. I guess the teacher didn't like that. And for whatever reason, he got sent to the principal's office or the headmaster's office. And the headmaster going to make him kneel in order to apologize, saying that he learned it from a Nigerian father in the past. And real quick, before I pass the mic on this one, two things about the story that bothers me. Number one, why you get sent to the principal's office, headmaster's office, because you going ahead in your work.
Right.
And number two, if some parent showed you that in the past, a former student, not a current student, not a student from yesterday or last week, a former student, which means that student no longer goes to that school. What the fuck that got to do with what you doing today? If you ain't did that with every other student, why the fuck you doing it now? So those two things that bother me about that shit, man. Dirty D, I want to hear what you got to say on this one, man. You ain't paying attention, is you? I'm
Who
gonna
now?
move
Who
on.
that?
I'm gonna
Hey,
move on to Hannibal
hey,
on this one.
hey, brother, you sound muffled.
Dalvin,
Paying attention, but nobody can make out what you're saying, brother. You know what I'm saying? You gotta open your mouth and use the words. All right?
listening at all, Dalvin?
Yes.
You wasn't
I'm
listening.
sorry. I'm listening, man. I'm laughing because you went to your boy. My opinion is that it's a behavior thing, and I always look for the underlying issue. First thing, they had a Catholic school, right? And my problem is the family that this happened to, they're Haitian. I don't know if you said that,
Yeah, I did.
Prime, but so they're a Haitian family that decided to spend their hard-earned money to send their kids to a private Catholic school. And this for me, this is how I think. I go back to the royal family and how this whole Catholicism and everything else, and how they make it seem as if, oh, you know, they got all their money, their wealth, but even though we go and get their education and say it's supposed to be the best by going to a Catholic school, they still,
Oh man, you cut out on us.
no matter, they treat you like shit. You know, even though you go into this private school, they're doing this, they don't truly understand our culture. They truly don't understand what it is. But you punish a young Black male for excelling in education, and you make them bow down to you asking for forgiveness because someone else said that that's the way they do it in their family. It's bullshit to me. And that guy should be fired, and he should not be able to be a headmaster again. You deal with kids as individuals.
He resigned. I saw that. Read that this morning. He resigned. But I wanted to
But
go.
see, he the type of dude that'll get another job though. You know, like Dalvin said. I mean, like D said, he shouldn't ever be able to have that position ever again.
Never.
And I read a lady say that he's not a racist. He's like a father figure to my son. Like, that's your son. Your son probably ain't Black. That shit.
Right.
Anyway, Hannibal.
Yo, what's up,
sir? What you got to say on this topic, sir?
Man, to be honest, I first saw it. I was shocked, bro. I was like, I can't believe this is going on. Not again. Not for my people.
What you would have did if that was your kid?
What do you mean what I would have did? You already know what I was.
Man, hit the button. That's Captain Caveman.
But they made him bow his ass down. You bow down, motherfucker. Apologize.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Brown chiming in.
I think it's a load of crap. I think, especially how brother Dirty D explained it, man. His breakdown. I'm paying my hard-earned money to send my kid to school, and you want to tell my kid to bow down to you? I'm about to come in and break all your fucking your back, your neck, everything.
Yep.
My neck, my neck,
no way in the hell. I better own this school by the time this shit when it's all said and done.
Oh man.
Not another fucking dime by me. We're gonna own this school, we're gonna run this bitch in the ground. Fuck your school, fuck your system, fuck all of you, fuck. Let me get off this topic right now. I'm getting too pissed off.
Rex, man.
Yeah.
Gotta chime in on this one, man.
Boiling over.
You had anything to add, Rex, to that topic, or we gonna move on?
Oh, I mean, it's just blatant racism. You know, I mean, you can't sugarcoat that shit. You can see it for what it is. I guarantee you, he never did that to any other child that passed through them halls. So, like Dirty D said, man, he already resigned. He should never ever be able to have them type of positions ever again. Oh. And you know, he just kind of pull a little curtain back on the type of people that's teaching some of our kids, you know, depending on where you send them to school, you know. And I think you just got to be careful of that, especially nowadays, man, because they just fucking brazen with the racism nowadays, man, you know. And they're trying to start some stuff, but it is what it is. But he's a flake, and I'm glad he's the fuck out of there.
All right. Now speaking of
But,
brazen,
Prime, I got a question. Whatever
Go ahead.
happened to the teacher?
you know what? They didn't,
Prime, I
hear
gotta ask a
nothing about
question.
yeah,
What happened to the teacher that took him to the office?
I
That's
don't.
my issue.
I didn't even hear nothing about the teacher name because the mother did say that the teacher need to be held accountable. She happy that the headmaster was fired or he resigned or whatever, but she still feel like the teacher needs to get something as well. But they didn't even give the teacher name. I didn't see it in the article I read. But I agree.
Right.
Like teacher should have never sent the child to the headmaster. I don't understand what caused her to feel like he needed to even go there. He wasn't acting up in class or being disrespectful, he was just doing work.
But again, that's why I said it earlier. It's this the behavior and how they look at our kids. This guy he was excelling. He was going ahead to do work. And you've had the galls to take him to the office because he's going ahead. They need to whip her ass too. I'm just being honest because
Basically, they don't want niggas to get ahead. That's what that sounds like.
Pretty
I'm
much.
trying to be politically correct. So yeah.
They don't want niggas to get
Pretty
ahead,
much.
man. Talking about brazen racism. Now, tell me how y'all feel about this one. This is rolling on into politics.
All right, segue.
Now y'all have heard that they have a gang. They think it says 40, at least 45 states have more than 250 voter suppression bills have passed so far this year. And we just in March, now end of March, 3 months in, then I had 250 voter suppression bills between 45 states in 3 months. Now Georgia has been the biggest one of note because and their let me read this real quick. And their new voting laws, among the limits that they're imposing, the law imposed stricter identification requirements, limited drop boxes, gave lawmakers the power to take over local elections, and shorten the early voting period for all runoff elections. It also makes it a misdemeanor for people to offer food and water to voters waiting in line. Now, I, not to say I understand, but I see where they're pointing the finger, what they're trying to do as far as limiting, as far as the drop boxes and the local elections and the runoffs and stuff like that. My problem is why are they saying that can't give food and water to people waiting in line? Why is that a crime all of a sudden? That makes absolutely no sense to me, man. And Hannibal, you are a DSGB, so I want to hear what you got to say on this matter first.
First of all, if any changes should be made to voting, it should be.
And you still proudly claim Georgia, right?
What else I'm gonna claim?
I'm just asking, brother. I'm just asking the question.
You better clean South Carolina shit with all the shit Georgia going through. Ooh, ooh. Damn, Georgia.
Bad Georgia.
Now, with voting and anything, it's supposed to be, you're supposed to be bringing in people to bring in new innovative ways to make it easier for the public to be able to vote and cast a vote safely, correct? That's what it should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason this came about is because Donald is a sore loser and the Republicans are pissed, and you got those followers of Donald Trump that's still in positions of power.
Didn't
to make
Donald
things
Trump try to
go
call
around.
the election board member or something like that, asking them to find them votes and shit like that?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
All of this is stemming from that. Because they came out and it was like, oh, they cheated. You know what I'm saying? But they could never find anything that said that the votes were tampered with. Only thing they could find was that Republicans tried to get rid of some of the ballot. I just feel like this.
They are you vote in Georgia.
Over Georgia, like in Georgia, they already fucked over the whole thing by Kemp even being the fucking governor anyway. He wasn't even supposed to win that goddamn race anyway. They cheated to get his ass. You know what I'm saying? Now it was impose Jim Crow our people from going out there to vote. That's all it's trying to do. They're trying to hurt us and in the underprivileged areas as well. Not just us, but anybody who lives in the underprivileged area, but mostly us, because it was the vote of the African American communities that came out in swarms and were able to flip the I want to keep it blue. Blue is a pretty color. You know what I'm saying? I love red, but something about blue. Blue is the sky. It usually symbolizes a nice day when you can see the clear blue sky. I'd rather just keep it blue. And what they doing is kind of trying to make sure that it stays there. And you know what? I'll continue to fight. I hope that they do, because they already said that Governor
When
Kemp
last time you vote in Georgia?
and the Republicans have made a great mistake in Georgia by doing what they did.
When last time you vote in Georgia?
I don't give a damn when the last time I voted. It's about where I was born at.
Ask you a
Well,
question, brother. It's a question.
He touchy about that Georgia shit now. He touchy about that now.
The last time I vote in Georgia, what was 2008? Mailing my ballot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Continue, man. Go ahead, continue.
You got a swig.
Yeah, I got that swig. That Stella on top.
Know what you said?
I was telling you to go ahead and continue, but anybody
No, I'm
else
good.
want to chime in? Go ahead.
What?
Rex,
Rex,
you got something to add about these voter issues in Georgia?
I mean, we know what it's all about. They're trying to take away that one thing that our elders fought for, died for, to try to get that thing going. And it pisses you off, man, because it's so effective, the shit that they do to try to keep us falling back, because, I mean, like I say, once again, Stacey Abrams, she's a national treasure. And everything that young lady trying to do down there in Georgia, they trying to repeal or turn back or whatever. But I just hope they keep, just doing their thing, man, and battling and fighting. And cuz, just a little note, the reason why they put that last thing in there about handing water to people or bringing in food, that's just the extra kick in the ass.
Yep.
They nasty, man. That's all they will give you, that nasty next extra kick in the ass just to be nasty about it, dog, So they paid it like that.
You're taking advantage of that Shelby versus Holder case, Shelby County versus Holder case from 2013, because they're not supposed to be able to make those changes to voter rights, to the Voter Rights Act, 1964, and because of that case from 2013 with Shelby County, basically it was saying that the what's it called, pre-clearance and the prerequisites for pre-clearance, they're saying that it was outdated. They were using things that really outdated and it wasn't constitutional for them to prevent those states or counties, whatever, from basically saying we want to be discriminatory. You can't claim that we being discriminatory on these old laws. You got to come up with some new ones, and that's what the John Lewis Voting Rights Act was supposed to update what those requirements are about being discriminative, whatever. But Dirty, I want to hear what you got to say on this one.
I mean, when I first heard about it, the first thing I did is I just went back and reflected and just looked at the election back in November, the results that came out in November. And then if we all, listening, I'm going to take a step back. I just call this Jim Crow Esquire, because when people say Jim Crow, the way that they're dealing with it now is, well, I call it Jim Crow Esquire. They're using legal tactics to cause us, as in people, pain in voting. First thing. Second thing is for us as young Black men, just for the state of South Carolina, the main reason why we didn't win the Senate in South Carolina is because a lot of young Black men still did not vote. And I'm from South Carolina, and I claim it. But the other thing is the third thing with the election. After the election in November, the stuff that they did in Georgia before the runoff is they started purging the voter roll, right? That's the thing that they do. The second thing, the other thing that they did with these laws now is that they're making it difficult. If we think about it, if a woman is married and her husband passed and they asked her for a copy of her marriage certificate. We all know our parents, they've been married, or our grandparents, they've been married. Shit, I don't even know what my marriage certificate is after all these years that I had it. But they're asking for those type of identifications. And then if we really think about it, in the past, Republicans always won because they early voted or they did absentee ballots. So they can avoid going to the polls. It wasn't until recently that this asshole recently that we had, I call him Mr. Orange, that but perpetrated this lie. Now, from all of that, Terrence, guess what? Guess what's the funniest thing from last week? Remember Trump lawyer, the one that said that the voting machines were error, all this other stuff was wrong. In her counter, when she's being sued now by that Dominion company for $1.2 billion, her countersuit is basically saying, hey, this was only political talk. If people really believe that the system was that flawed, they're stupid. She's basically calling Trump and all his people stupid for believing that the system was wrong. So that's my whole thing about it. Yes, it's flawed, but the thing that we need to do as Black people is we still need to get people out there to vote. We still need to get people out there early to do what they have to do. And in my opinion, we need to roll up vending machines to the voting polls and hand out quarters so people can buy their own water out of the vending machines to avoid other people from getting arrested. I'm taking my mentality to the part of, if you're going to say I can't do this, then I'm gonna find a loophole to say what I can do to get my people to vote. Because until young people like us have that authority to push, envelope, I don't care what they say or do. We're built on a race of people who are gonna always find a way to get around it. We're gonna find a way to get around it. So
Okay. Hannibal, you want to say something? I was about to go to Brown, but go ahead.
One thing I will not forget about what they did. The young lady who went and knocked on the young lawmaker in Georgia who went and knocked on the governor's door because there was no representation there for the voters or for the minority groups at all. They arrested her.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's bullshit.
Just for knocking on the damn door, saying that she
For
was disrupting
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
Proceedings or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean,
Brown,
that's
you
that
had something
bullshit.
to add?
Yeah, so I'll wrap it up, man. I was not surprised by what they did. I mean, they do it every fucking 3 to 4 years anyway. Every time somebody flip a seat somewhere, the Republicans go to work. I mean, that's how we got the gerrymandered system we got right now. They've been deciding who can vote for them to keep them in office. They've been doing it forever. Mm-hmm. So now that they've been brought to the light, now they got to switch tactics and do something else. They always gonna be a step ahead. If they get called on something else, they find another loophole. We just gotta, like D said earlier, we just gotta be better prepared. How to counteract what they're doing.
Yeah, to piggyback off of both of what you guys just said, Brown and D, I tell my son this all the time. I say, if you don't like the game, then don't play, right? Because it's not your game. You don't like the rules of that game, then don't play. But if you're gonna play the game, you gotta play by the rules. Now, the thing about this government or country that we live in, we as the people have an opportunity to participate in the creation of some rules, not all, but some rules. And voting is a part of that participation. So if you want to change the rules, we got to vote. We got to get out there. We got to show the people that we are paying attention to everything that they're doing because they're using the laws against us. But the laws are created by them because they are the ones voting on the laws. We got to get in there. We got to vote too, man. We only 17% of the population. You know what I mean? In certain areas, we're not going to make that much of a difference. But as long as we're playing in this game, let's participate in the creation of some of these laws and rules, man, because ain't no sense just sitting back waiting on shit to happen, man. We got to be a little more proactive as well, man. So, I just encourage everybody out there, especially locally, vote locally. Get involved, get informed about things that's going on, even the small little addendums that's happening and just might be just your community, not be might be the whole city, might just be in your area. Be involved if you want something to be different. Inform yourself, participate, and vote, man, for real. Because they'll pull the rug right from under you, man, if you ain't paying attention. So moving the fuck on.
Amen, cuz. Amen. I like that. Very passionate.
Yep.
Next thing I want to talk about is the city of no, I keep saying the city. I don't know why I keep saying this shit, man. Suburb of Evanston and Chicago, right? And this rolls over into paying attention. This is the first city to approve what they want to call, I'm putting air quotes, reparations payments to its black residents. Alderman Cicely Fleming was the lone no vote against it because she says that, first, let me tell you what the reparations thing is about. Basically, they have $400,000, only $400,000 out of a $10 million initiative to pay, I think they said 16 black families, $20,000 a piece so that they can either buy home, renovate homes, whatever the case may be. However, they don't get the money. The money goes to the banks on their behalf to do this work. And they're calling this reparations. Now, Rex, I want to hear from you first about how you feel about this story.
It's bullshit. And we know what time it is. Because when we think of when I think of reparations, I can't speak for everybody else. I'm thinking cash in hand. Boom. I want the dollars. That's all. That's what it's all about. And don't tell me any shit about, well, we got to do it this way because they don't know how to manage their money. How the fuck you gonna tell me how to manage my money? You know?
Yeah.
We out here, we have responsibilities. They want to put this shit in some type of, you got to apply, because I believe you still got to apply for these vouchers to get these like home renovations or even to put down money on a house or whatever. That's not reparations. That's the same old shit y'all been doing for the longest time. You know, if they really want to be straight and square with reparations, they know what time it is. Cut the checks.
Yeah.
Period.
That's the same thing the alderman was saying. Like, people want cash, or they should be able to decide what reparations look like to them. You shouldn't have to decide for them. But D man, I want to hear what you got to say, and then I'm gonna come to you next, Hannibal.
Well, I believe that it should be some form of payment, and this is where I may split off from the team, is that at least they're having the thought process and opportunity to actually do something. Because sometimes we forget is that we want it all or nothing. The other part, that the issue that I have with this is that even if you do give it to them for your home or even to buy a new home or do some other stuff, even if I go to the bank, then I want it to go to someone black who's going to be doing the repairs. Or I want to deal with a black realtor. I want to deal with someone, that's from the culture. That's my issue with this, because the point is that yes, we can give you cash, but again, if everybody knows that clip from Dave Chappelle when that one guy said he went and bought a whole truck full of Newports and I paid cash.
I'm rich,
and that's where that part when I rich bitch came from, right? And that's the thing I'm saying, is that at least they're progressive enough to think of something to give to their community in their area. The issue I have is that I just don't want to be tied to one particular bank. I don't want to be tied to a particular contractor or realtor. I want it to be all centered around that if I am spending this money, it's going to a black contractor. If it is this money, and someone that's reputable. You get what I'm saying? I just want to be able to, that it stays in our community, because when Malcolm and Farrakhan and most people say that black dollar, it doesn't go around into the black community enough to generate wealth. And that's the way I'm thinking about it. I'm not happy with the way they're rolling it out. At least they're progressive enough of thinking about something. These are the tad bit stuff that I look for in any deal that I'm dealing with. If I'm going to renovate my house and I want to use a black contractor, I want that money to go to him, because guess what? That's going to feed that contractor. That's going to help us spread the money a little bit better. So that's my whole opinion, is that no other county in the United States is even thinking about reparation right now.
All right. Hannibal, what you got to say, sir?
I feel you, what you saying, Dirty D. They may be thinking about it, but I think the execution of the plan that they have, you know what I'm saying, I don't agree with.
Yep.
That's the thing. I don't like that plan at all. For me, you know, reparations is not only just cash in hands. I want my, you know what I'm saying, I want my land. You know what I'm saying? That my ancestors put their blood, sweat, and tears in the mapping out so that y'all can make this big money. You know what I'm saying? To run this not well machine that y'all call America. Because y'all messing it up. When we fixed it, you know, to do the right way, but y'all just y'all want to do it y'all way. I don't know, man. They can scrap that and take that and shut it, because they ain't giving the people freedom. They essentially, to me, it sounds like you're like, oh yeah, we got some money for you, but we gonna decide where you spend it at.
Right.
We gonna make the decisions with your money. And $20,000 ain't shit.
Brown?
You know?
Oh, my bad.
Oh man, I think they being progressive enough to think about doing something. They did something. They put something out there. They wasn't in a rush. I mean, they wanted to address a problem, an issue. They went about it all the wrong way, because you're addressing the issue, but you're not looking at you're not seeking counsel from the people that you're seeking to help. Then how the hell are you going to help them if you don't know what they actually want or what they actually need? And then even if you do seek the counseling, you still don't do what the hell they ask you to do with your own thing anyway. You still not helping them. You just basically trying to seem progressive without actually doing anything for real. I think I applaud them for trying, but it's too little, not enough. It's basically bullshit to me. Like you said, if it's not going, if you're not keeping the money in the Black community, at least spreading the wealth or creating wealth, I think we'll still shoot ourselves in the foot. And I think, like I told you guys before, one thing I think that I told him, I had a discussion with my cousin. I said, I don't have to be the first millionaire in the family, but I want to at least create one or two. Help create 1 or 2 millionaires in the family. Gotcha. And like I told Hannibal before, what I do with my son, I had that Roth RA where I put $6,000 into that thing. So by the time his 14th birthday come around, it'll be about $10,000 in it. But by the time he's ready to retire, that Roth RA will be worth more than $1 million.
Right.
So at least he will have a starting place and not need to just work himself to the fucking bones for the rest of his life. He already knows he has $1 million waiting somewhere. Yeah. But we all have to get together in the same mindset of planning for our kids, man, and making a way for them to get there. We can't depend on the government to do that. If we keep waiting on the government, we'll never get nothing. Right. We got to be our own work preparations out.
I got a couple points I'll kind of piggyback off something you said, Hannibal D, and what you just get to saying, Brown. I know that I don't agree with the method. I think it's bullshit. Just like you said, like everybody else saying, it's bullshit. I think it's a good attempt, because now you can see, all right, this is an attempt. What did we do wrong? How can we do it better with the next go round? How can we improve on this initiative moving forward? That's the only positive that I take away from it. Another thing is, why is housing the only option that they provide as far as with this reparation that's surrounding? You know what I mean? That might not be the area that somebody wants to invest their money in. I know that they say home equity is one of the biggest things that was that propelled people into passing down wealth. But that was 40, 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Is home equity still that route? You know, things have changed so much in the past 30, 40 years that I'm not sure that that's the best launching pad as far as passing down generational wealth. You know what I mean? So for them to just decide that for us is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That part I don't agree with, man. The decision should be in our hands. You know what I mean? As far as what we want to do. Now, everybody ain't gonna do the right thing with their money. That shit. That's in every race. I don't give a fuck who you is, black, white, whatever. Everybody ain't the smartest when it comes to money. But let me make that decision. You know what I mean? If I fuck it up, I fuck it up. You know what I mean? I don't think you should manage that shit for me, man. So that's how I feel about that whole bullshit ass reparations that they're giving out, man. So with that, I'm going to leave politics alone. I'd like to jump into some sports and entertainment with my man Hannibal. What's happening?
All right, man. On a lighter note, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe it isn't lighter. The Brooklyn Nets, guys, we have to stop those assholes. We have to stop them now. They are formulating a team that can take apart the structure. Dude,
amongst us.
Dude, I don't know how, like some people think, or some people, how do players say, I want to get it a different way. I don't want to play with LeBron. But then they go to Brooklyn and sign to play with KD, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin. Now you add LaMarcus Aldridge to the case.
Y'all think with that 5 they can actually win?
Hell no.
Yeah. The only reason why I say yeah is because
Hell no.
I think on paper, but we already know it's
Hell, here we go with the people stuff.
whenever you load a team up like that, that team always tumble. They always tumble.
About Golden
so
State.
Hannibal. Hold on, Prime. So Hannibal, I'm gonna ask you this, right?
Yeah.
In the 80s, when the NBA was completely different, when players didn't have their right for free agency, what 2 teams were the most loaded teams in the late 70s, early 80s?
He don't know. He wasn't born yet.
Celtics and the Lakers.
We know somebody to see that.
but he said it, yeah. But the Celtics and the Lakers, and even with the Celtics, their starting 5 were all Hall of Famers. But because their team was loaded because of the owners had the rights back then more than the players, because free agency in the early 80s was non-existent.
Yeah.
So if they pick you, that's who you stayed with. And the Celtics and the Lakers, they built a powerhouse team. Because we can look at the Lakers. I think that from 80 to 83, their starting 5 are all Hall of Famers as well. And they built the team to be that way. My issue with the NBA now is that, not the NBA, but you got players now say, hey, I want to win a chip. And if I got to be on the team that's stacked, I'm winning a chip, but we all playing our parts. I mean, we look at the Bulls in the early 90s. The Bulls, they won a championship. They had, 4 Hall of Famers on their team?
Yeah, but
I'm just being
That's debatable. That's debatable.
Okay. You have Jordan, Pippen, Kerr, and then you also have Dennis Rodman. Those 4 out of that 5 are all Hall of Famers.
Got a point.
Ooh, Steve Kerr's Hall of Famer? Steve Kerr's Hall of Famer?
Steve Kerr's a Hall of Famer.
I'm making a point.
I'm making a point. Steve Kerr's a Hall of Famer because he has won a championship at 2 separate teams as a player, and he's also won it as a coach. The point I'm making is that you cannot knock the fact that people are building teams with players because they did it in the past. It was only done by the owners. It wasn't done by the players.
See, my thing is, the thing that I'm saying, players, what reports have said, we don't want to play with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So we want to win it, we want to see if we can win it in a different way. He can win it in his way. You know what I'm saying? Like he set out a formula, in which is the formula that they're going by for free agency is the formula that he set the standard for.
Who's talking about LeBron?
Yeah, to get paid.
LeBron didn't step that formula. It was Kevin Garnett and old boy from South Carolina that did it first.
Ray Allen. They forget about that team. Yeah.
Ray,
I ain't saying like go sign with who you want to sign with. Yes, I'm saying the way that they sign their contracts with how much they get paid. That's what LeBron had he put that in there. Now Kevin Garnett, by leaving the Timberwolves and going to the Boston Celtics, he opened up a whole nother job. But that had already happened. You know what I'm saying? The Bulls didn't draft everybody. They signed Rodman. They went and signed Hawk. You know what I'm saying? So they the team going whatever like that. But what the players are saying, oh, we don't want to win it in a different way. But then you go, I thought you were winning in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I'm sorry, Prime, but my thing is this about money. First thing I look at is Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Rondo. All of those guys took a pay cut to play with each other and to win a championship at Boston. And I can't stand Boston because I'm a diehard Laker fan all my life from the 80s. And the one thing I do respect, hey, say what you want, but the one thing I respect about them is that they took a pay cut to get that money. And let's go ahead and just flip it. If we talk about business, one player that always took less, and he's won the most championships out of everybody in the NFL. It's true.
Talking about the NFL.
No, but what I'm saying, I'm making a point about contract negotiations and to get players on your team to win a championship. And that's Tom Brady. He did that. Tom Brady took a pay cut every year to get players on his team.
If you want to say contracts, LeBron has never made the highest. I think recently he was
I give him that. I love LeBron. I respect LeBron.
Yeah, he just did the same. He did the same thing. He took pay cuts. He took less so that the teams can acquire more so that they can win.
My whole point when I say this, and I'm sorry I hope you don't think I'm taking over, but my point is this. Whenever I hear people say, oh, the players now, they're doing this, I'm like, man, fuck it. Back then, remember that movie, Higher Learning? What did Ice Cube tell Omar Epps? Run, nigga, run, to get that scholarship? We don't have to be that way no more. We are not that way no more. It's because of the player union and because of players now having that right, they're demanding this stuff and they're working together to get on a team. That's why I hate to say it, I respect Tom Brady because he commands that respect and he took pay cuts to get people around him to make him better. Hell, they just signed Antonio Brown again. And I'm a Steelers fan.
Now, fellas, I love the conversation, but we on this topic a little too long.
I'm sorry, dog. I love this. I love this part about business and sports, though. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, you fine, but I gotta direct the traffic as my director.
I'll say one thing.
There you go.
I'll just say this. I don't think the Brooklyn Nets are going to be successful and win because other teams that come out and they sign a whole bunch of players in the short term like this over the course of a year, that team never comes out and wins the championship, no matter what team it is. Miami Heat. When you go back and talk, when the Lakers did it, when they played against when they lost to the Detroit Pistons, nobody
Detroit
to do it the first year that they signed. It takes time to build chemistry, and I just don't think they have enough time to do it. Moving on to the next.
Tampa Bay did it. Miami did it. I'm just telling you, because Tampa Bay baseball, when they won their first first World Series, they got a fully loaded team and they won it. I'm just putting it out there.
The history of it.
I mean, I'm saying
I'm that nigga. I'm that nigga that disagrees.
we like debates. We love debates. We love debates. This ain't our biggest topic. We got to move on to the next one.
So we're
I'm sorry, Hannibal.
All right. So in other words, in sports, man, they still out here. Something else came up, man. Dang, I made a train of thought. Something else came. We was talking about sports. Oh yeah, trades going down before the draft. San Francisco 49ers make big trade with Miami to Houston and other. I think one other team, so they can move up to the third spot. It's possible that 3 quarterbacks will go 1, 2, 3 in the draft this year, because you know that the 49ers are getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. he probably, yeah, they can probably get rid of him. I think they're gonna end up taking Justin Fields. They probably should take Zach Wilson that's coming out of BYU. I think, dude, after watching this film, I think dude has the one of the superior arms and accuracy talent with his arm, other than, you know, the dude up in Clemson who just pummeled over the Gamecocks so many times. He just kept.
Hey, you ain't had to throw that in there. That was unnecessary. Unnecessary. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh man,
Flag on the play.
Throw the flag.
that's just one of the things, man. It looked like it's gonna be interesting with teams making moves down to the draft so they could get in position. Passes around. They need to be looking to make moves. And we already talked about the Patriots and their big all the you know what I'm saying? Maybe they should make the Niners back into a playoff contender after making these moves and maybe making that we'll see if they. I think they gave up too much to get to them. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say congratulations to the Dolphins. Y'all have worked that shit over.
Right.
Thank you.
That's all they got is draft picks.
That's all we need.
First 10 picks.
Go and get on Watson, but they just got to make sure that they have a masseuse to come along with it. You know?
That's mean. That's mean. That was mean.
This coming from an Atlanta Falcon fan. Come on now. I ain't even got to respond. All I got to say is Atlanta Falcons. That's it.
But while you're talking about those Atlanta Falcons, and we're on the topic of Falcons, let's go ahead and move over to entertainment. This week, Falcon and the Winter Soldier showed out with another phenomenal episode. That's episode 2. And I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if people have seen it, but done it. If you ain't watched it yet, you better get to the 2 because this is a spoiler review.
Too bad.
So put it like this. In the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, man, you see him and Bucky finally get a chance to work together this week. They sit down and they go over, you know, they have to sit down face to face and they go over their differences. And the one thing that Bucky is mad at him about is that he gave up the shield. Now we understand
mad at him for that.
Giving up the shield. We understand the you know what Captain America meant to him, what the shield meant to him, and he just felt like no one else should carry that shield. Only Captain America should carry the shield. The US government put them over and this, that, and the third. But we come to find out later on in the episode that the Falcon wasn't the only person that the U.S. government has fucked over. He probably fucked over many. They probably fucked over many vets. I ain't gonna say no names. If you're a veteran, raise your hand. You know, this, that, and the third. But anyway, we're gonna keep it rolling. So, Isaiah Bradley, Super Soldier, the first Captain America, really. He was black man. And in that episode, they went on the racial undertone. This man did 30 years in prison or lab testing facility where he was held like a prisoner.
Right.
Kept away from his family because he took the Captain America exhibit uniform into battle, a suicide battle that they set up for him because they didn't want him to come back. They wanted him to die in battle.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
else prior died.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I just want to make this, and I'm gonna ask you guys how y'all felt about it. It's veterans that I see downtown on a regular basis. That's the whole gripe with the U.S. government. They went out and did all of this stuff, and they get handed their ass to kiss when they come back on the back end. They went over there. A lot of veterans went over to numb. They went fucking crazy because of the shit they seen over there and the drugs that was over there and everything. You got veterans that's going over there, the Gulf War, Iraqi War, and all these other wars. They go out there and the people try to talk about them like they're heroes, and I've seen it with my own eyes. But guys go out there heroes and they come back and they get their ass to kiss from everybody when they come back, and instead of them getting the help and the appreciation that they really need to feel, they come back. For me, it touched a soft spot in the episode, but I want to know how you guys felt when y'all watched the episode.
Rex, you want to go first?
Well, I mean, it was heartfelt, man. I mean, because I think everybody on this panel done receive a low dose of that in any type of aspect in their personal life or whatever, or, you know, whatever. But I just like to show because it's showing the realness about America, you know, and how America treats the heroes / veterans, and you know the things that's still going on to this day, man. You know, like how Hannibal said, there's plenty of veterans like right downtown, homeless. They got no place else to go. They're getting bad medical care, and for real, I don't know why, but this show really is really touching on that real thing, man. Especially the part that really kind of cheesed me off is when that idiot John Walker. I don't even know how to even put this clown in here or whatever, but when he told Sam, he was like, "Yeah, I need Captain America's sidekicks with me," and Sam was like, "It's always that last statement, man. It's always that last statement." And that's what they do a lot, you know. Just to even touch back on that reparation shit, man. You know, they don't act like they're doing something, but they really not. You know, it's kind of like when you've been little and you got some type of like allowance, like, or if your uncle gave you like $20 before it even got in your hand, your mama took it. Let me get that. I'll tell you how to spend. I'll spend this for you, and that's how they, you know, that's what they do to us, man. I mean, it's all American. That's all I know, and it's a great show. So you should check it out. Huh?
Let me tell you something, Squidbutt.
You getting serious.
My bad. I just started to ramble a little bit. I did ramble a little bit.
You get serious now. I thought you were gonna say Squidbuzz for a minute. I had to throw that in there for you, man. I want to throw the sentiment. I don't like that new Captain America dude. I don't like his ass.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
But even in the comic book, nobody really cares for him. I'm a geek about that type of shit, right? Because I grew up in a military family. You know, if Terrence knew, I actually got out of the military to go to college. Because I was the late entry program, you know, in 11th grade. But the one thing, and I'm gonna just speak truth to the fact, is that the first episode struck me more than the second episode. Because remember when when you know, Falcon went home and they asked him, "You did all of this for save the world, and there's no fun, you know, to help you out." Because remember, he went back to his family boat and they couldn't even get the loan. And you're thinking this man saved the world, did all this other stuff. There was no money put aside for him to be like to help fund him for all the stuff he did. So I go back to the second episode. This guy was, you know, after, you know, Captain America, they gave him the serum to be the super soldier and whatever. It just speaks truth to the fact that, and I'm going back as a Black man, the first thing we do when we hear someone go in the military, we call them a stupid or idiot, or you just doing something for the man. And we never really truly digest why they going into the military to get out of their current situation. And then when they come back during the 70s, and my uncle Cleve told me this, you know, he was telling, and other people I deal with, the guy that used to live behind us, and he went to Vietnam, and he said, "Dalvin, when I came back from Vietnam, it was my people that treated me like shit more than everybody else." And he was like, I'm young. He was my first music teacher. And Prime, my sister would tell you about, you know, Ed that used to live behind us. He smoked cigarettes, he drank a lot because he was on it, but he was like, my people treated me more worse than other people because they felt I was a sellout going into the war. And he was like, I'm trying to change my situation to get benefits for my family and, you know, and my wife and kids. So what this show opens up a lot of things from me, because I'm a believer in taking care of my own. And we got to start taking care of our veterans that come back. We have to start showing them love. We have to also start helping people understand that we got to be better than just being infantrymen going into the military. I have cousins. I had a cousin I visited in Florida last week when I traveled for work. This joker is a brigadier general. And he peeped the game to me all the time when he speaks. It's like how they have to build a network so that Blacks can actually advance in the military to help out other Blacks in the military. Because if you're a guy in the military and you specialize in like Terrence is IT. Terrence, I mean, my cousin, excuse me, prime time. Sorry, Big T. Yeah, prime time about to come. He's IT, but if he did his years and did all these, my cousin did all this stuff for Microsoft. When he retired out of the military, he's going to be making between 250 and 300 grand a year. That's on top of his 150,000 he's going to be getting paid out of the government every year for what he's doing. We got to start talking about how to pimp the game and get our people to start making these decisions.
Is it too late for me to join the military?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we too late.
Couldn't get through the damn
But that's my beef about the military, is that we gotta start pimping it and getting out of it what they take from our people, man.
Well, the other three brothers on this panel, all of them are vets of military.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
but am I wrong? Am I wrong? Because I want somebody to tell me if I'm wrong, right or wrong, man. We gotta pimp the system to get money out of it, man.
Yeah, so I would say, especially learning how contract works. You got the contract anything out for you. So you got to get out there and get that money. I think everybody needs to get together. There's a called Earn Leisure. They're run by a bunch of brothers, and all they do is get people together in the same room, talking about how to build these networks and create businesses that for the Black community. But I think if we really got to get together and start discussing this stuff and start laying out plans and put something for ourselves, man, real.
No doubt. I do have a question. I do have a question about the Winter Soldier, though. What do y'all think is going to happen with what do you think going to happen with Bucky? Because that part about Bucky, that when he got arrested in Baltimore, remember? Spoiler alert! Remember when they pull the guns out, and when they realized that it wasn't for the Falcon, it was actually for Bucky because he missed his I guess his counseling section.
Right.
It was
great
because they didn't know who he was. They were ready to pick him up because they thought he was giving Bucky a hard time. And then they knew who it was, and they was like, "Oh, you missed your court appointed mental
therapy session.
Therapy thing. So you gotta go in. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, me and my son, when we was watching it, we was like, we were glad that, because at first, when the police pull up, you're like, all right, the Black man about to go to jail, even though he ain't did nothing. But they took the white man instead. And we was like, you know what? I see what they did there. You know what I mean? They flipped it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't even had to throw the shit in about jail. That just came out of the blue. I don't even, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing was, they were going to till Bucky stood. You see it?
Right.
They were going to arrest him. So they don't get off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like the way the show did it, but you know what I'm saying? Like in that case right there, the officers were totally wrong. Because they were just because he was Black.
Because for one, why were the officers randomly there? You know what I mean? Ain't like somebody called the police. They just was kind of just out there. And when they like
Black neighborhood. That's why they did.
It's how you do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They always there.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why. You ain't even got to ask how they pop up so fast. It's a Black neighborhood. And you got a white boy walking through the Black neighborhood too? Oh, yeah. There's something wrong here. You got to find out what's going on.
All right, man. Now moving on, man. What else you got for entertainment, Mr. Hannibal?
All right, so are y'all pumped? Because I've heard nothing but good things about it. Are y'all pumped to watch Godzilla vs. Kong? Because I've heard nothing good. I think it's gonna be a fun show, a fun movie to watch.
I do want to see it because Kong Island or King of Kong Island. I forget whatever. One with Sam L was in. One was
Skull Island.
Island. Kong of Skull Island. That was a good movie, and the Godzilla movie was actually better than I thought it was gonna be. You know what I mean? So I'm actually ready to watch Kong versus Godzilla. I'm actually ready to watch that.
They said it's good, dog. They said it's good. The people who
I'm going to reserve. I'm going to be reserved about it because I've been disappointed so many times in the past.
What? You didn't
So
like
many
Skull
times.
Island? You ain't like Skull Island?
Oh, Skylar Island was good now. Skylar Island was good, but I'm talking about having them together in a movie. We ain't had them together in a movie in a long time, man.
30, 40.
Think about it.
But you gotta.
And they had some real shitty Godzilla and King Kong movies back in the day, man.
And somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. But isn't the same production team or director working on this movie that worked on Skull Island and the other Godzilla movies? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have high hopes for that. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be good.
I think I've heard them. What up, Dirty?
I just got a question for somebody. I know we were talking about entertainment, and then y'all probably already talked about it last week, but I'm new. How did y'all like the new Justice League?
Oh yeah.
Yes. 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 It is excellent. Listen, I probably the only one on the panel that think that or whatever, but it's all good. It is excellent. I like the way they did the story. It was awesome. They should have did it like that the first time.
I think
Yeah.
Hannibal agree with you, Rick.
Josh Whedon has been he's been blackballed in Hollywood apparently.
To be
He
honest,
deserves to be.
I was the only person on the panel that was like, meh. It was meh. I didn't really care for it that much, to be honest.
Dog, the whole I'm a nerd for the comic book stuff. That this story tied into the original story, and even with the detail with the black costume that Superman had on, the details on Wonder Woman, when they went back to the Amazon island and how that came about, even the detail on the Flash with his girlfriend at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then like in the first Justice League, they didn't even bring in Darkseid at all. They didn't even reference his name in the first Justice League.
I gotta say, I hated Flash in this new movie. I hated Flash. Flash was garbage to me.
Even Cousin itching to say that.
He was garbage in the movie to me.
I thought it was excellent. I thought that even even like the background story about like Batman, in my opinion, Ben Affleck for Batman rank up high to me. I mean, because Michael Keaton was the first one. He gets a pass because that's a fucking first draft with Michael Keaton.
You ain't answer the question though. Was he better than Michael Keaton?
I think that with his role in playing the older Batman, I will say yes. Because if you read the original comic book and even his logo on his chest, it's the big Batman logo that's on there when he got older. Because he was Batman for almost 30 years in this movie. About 20 years, excuse me, in this movie. So you think about it, even the way how he played it, even Alfred, like how the way they rolled that up. I thought it was excellent. I'm sorry to Hannibal. I just had to ask the question because I'm new. I just wanted to ask this question about the Justice League.
I'm not even gonna say nothing else. I'm gonna let that ride. I ain't gonna rebut it.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Why we got a bird though?
Somebody's echoing. Who's echoing?
Damn it.
But the thing is,
all right, that was Rex. Go ahead, Hannibal.
So the thing is like this. So I get what you're saying. And league. Yeah.
Rex, I'm gonna need you to fix your audio, sir.
Like Ben Affleck, if he would have been able to play in his own solo movie, I'd be able to rank him properly. You know what I'm saying? So I think he did a great job with just him doing this thing, especially the way that he wanted to do it, but we'll never get the chance to see it. So therefore I can't rank it how I really want to rank it.
Now, I'm gonna interject real quick, Hannibal, before you finish with the segment, because I know you got something else you want to speak on in entertainment. Invincible. Is anybody that new show on Prime?
If you was patient, my brother, damn, I was getting there. You couldn't wait, huh?
I couldn't wait. That damn Invincible, man. This shit was good. My bad. I let you go ahead and introduce the show. Go ahead.
No, you go. You even did it now.
Damn,
Know about heroes
Invincible.
no matter what the fucking cause. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. That's Invincible. And it's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? The dude's hilarious.
The first episode. What I this what I take from the first episode of this new show. Now, for those that don't know, Invincible is a new animated series about superheroes that's on Amazon Prime. And here's what I like about the show. When they bring it in, they have the Guardians of the Globe or something like that. And so what I like what they did with the Guardians of the Globe is that it's clear that these members of this Guardians group are spitting images of Justice League. It's like clear. That's very clear, right? But what they did was they eliminated them to say, man, fuck all that. We tired of seeing the same damn superheroes. Let's show you some new superheroes. You know what I mean? Of course, Omni-Man supposed to, I'm assuming he represents Superman. But I like that they're saying, you know what, we've been having the same superheroes or same iterations of superheroes for decades. Let's push them out the way and get something new. That's what I like about it. That's what I took away, at least from the first episode. And it just made everything else that happened after more interesting to me because, for one, the way he got rid of them motherfuckers was like, whoa, pure savagery. Goodness, boy. He been busting heads left and right, man. Slamming motherfuckers on the ground, busting their brains wide open. Woo. For animated series, that was good. That was good, man. But that's all I got. That's all I wanted to say about Invincible.
All right. Another thing we want to give a round of applause to Eddie Murphy. He was nominated for the NAACP. What was it?
Hall of Fame Image Award.
Hall of Fame Image Award. Round of applause. The man from Mulan, Shrek, he's not done Doolittle. He's brought us all types of movies from when that your parents probably wouldn't let you watch. Like, why are you watching that? You don't supposed to be watching that. The movies was like your parents like, I ain't gonna watch that kiddie shit, but they sit down and watch it. Cause why? Eddie Murphy was in there. Eddie Murphy did a great job. One of the first actors that I got to see, I don't know about y'all, that I got to see act out multiple roles in one film. Hands on to Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, he definitely deserves it, man. He definitely deserves it, man. I'm all for that, man. All for that shit. And then here's a quick question that I wanted to ask. D, you brought this up earlier when we was doing the pre-production. How Eddie Murphy, he's on Kevin Hart's Comedy Gold Mines podcast, and one of the things they talked about was circles. And when the bigger you get, how big do you keep your circle of people around you? And I want to say I share the same sentiment with everybody here. However, I want to see how you guys feel about circles. When you're young, you got a group of fellas. You might have 10 people in your circle, you know what I'm saying, or more, of guys that you run with and do all kind of shit with. But as you get older, your circle shrinks. To me, I think it gets smaller. You know what I mean? You trust people a little bit less, or you might say, well, you know what, I have you take more precaution with people. You know what I'm saying? You get burnt a few times by some people you thought was your friends, blase, blase, blase. But you get a lot more scrutiny when it comes to relationships that you have with people. And so, to me, I think your circle gets a lot smaller the older you get. But Brian, what you think, man? How you feel about circles and as you get older? With
it tends to get smaller, but I would also say that it for me, I think you get more defined. You really define who you are, and then you definitely define who you want to be around, or who you want to share your space with, or who shares your time, or who you involved with. And would say it gets smaller, but then again, for me, I don't think it's small. I think I evolve more than it is small.
That's a good word, evolve. I like that.
And bringing people who can help develop some stuff that I need help with. So I wouldn't say it gets smaller. I think it gets more defined.
Okay. Who's that? Hannibal? What you about to say?
So you talking about your circle, your friendship circle?
Right.
So my friendship circle gets smaller, but my connections, my ability to network, my network gets broad. It broadens. You know what I'm saying? But my friendship circle stays small because there's only a few true friends out there.
Gotcha. I like that. D, what you got to say, brother?
Yeah, I mean, because I got my homies I grew up with forever from the bird that we're always going to be that way and tight. But I do say that as I got older, I have a group of guys that I smoke cigars with, we drink, we fellowship, and it's more of the grown man stuff that I connected on with them. But he's right. Hannibal was right. It's about it's my core group that's there. That's always going to keep me humble. They don't even call me by my first name. They call me by my nickname. But my network and what I build, what I call friends, because my homies are different than my friends. And I always say that because your homies can call you out when you're wrong. They're going to say whatever they have to say. You're still going to be down. You may not like it, but they're always going to be there. But then my network, that's something I can turn on and off. And I believe in that because if my network, the people I'm working with, if they're not pushing me to be better, then I transition to either pull somebody else in or exclude someone else. So that's the way I look at it. Because I do have different segments. I have professional network and I have my network for personal development.
Okay.
So
Rex, you want to chime in on that question? You know what we talking about? Or
I was trying to get the gist of what y'all was talking about. I had some technical difficulties.
we talking about circles, man. As you get older, when you're younger, you have a big group of people that you might deal with, but as you get older, that may shrink, depending on who you are. And I think everybody here has agreed. We haven't heard from you, but everybody here has agreed that circle does get smaller. But they made the point that while it may get smaller, maybe it gets stronger, or things a little bit. You said the networking gets better defined, and how they connect with people, if I'm saying that properly. But
yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. I mean, I told my sons that, as they was getting older, all the little friends you got now, you're not gonna have them later on as you get older because certain places you're going, they can't go. They're not built to go where you're going at a lot of times. And I remember being told that when I was a youngster. But I do believe that, and I think just like how you guys are saying, as your circle gets smaller, it does get stronger, because you got more. I think you can have more real people around you as you get older and you learn how to pick your friends and who to be with. Because sometimes when you're younger, you in the neighborhood and you just got friends of, convenience. You cool with them because they're around. But as you get older, you start noticing you doing different things, they doing different things, and you kind of drift apart. You'll always have them in your heart, man, but your whole core friendships when you get older it's always going to be small, no matter what. It's always going to be a handful of good people, and that's it. It's not going to be a crowd or entourage. So I definitely agree with that. I'm living proof of that. Right here with my fellas right here. Love these guys.
okay. I like to say that I have three levels of people that I deal with. I have acquaintances, people just you meet, very cordial with, talk to, if I see them out and about, hey, what's up, what's going on? I have homeboys or homegirls, just people who I know better than just a hi and bye. You know what I mean? You might sit and have a drink with them, if I see them at the bar or, and stuff like that. You might have a good conversation with. And then I have friends, people who I would say maybe know me more intimately than just a homeboy or an acquaintance. You know what I'm saying? They may know things about me that I feel comfortable enough sharing with them that they're not going to tell somebody else, or that's just between us, or whatever things of that nature. We share experiences together, good or bad, and I think that that for me helps me distinguish what my circle looks like. You know what I'm saying? overall. But yeah. So I glad we everybody chimed in on that. Everybody had their point to make.
Yeah,
But
you want
No doubt.
something that has shrunk though? Is these referee whistles in the Michigan game? I don't think they know.
yeah, y'all gonna lose this one. I'm just saying, y'all gonna lose this one. Oh, and and speaking of circles and friendships, man. Hannibal, I want to let you know, man. I want to go ahead and spill the beans on this, man. I had a plan when I started this show.
You can't tell them what you're doing.
Because the reason why I'm telling them now is because I'm off of it now. I'm off of it because we're getting some more serious conversations, man. Because we was having fun with the shit earlier, man. I was cutting you off earlier, man, intentionally. I was intentionally cutting you off.
Hey, he ain't pick up on that shit at all, but you just keep on talking. You just keep ignoring you, dog.
I just wanted to keep fucking with you, man. I want to see if I go get you to a boiling point, man. We was gonna see if he was gonna explode over shit.
Look at his
Captain
face,
Kid, man, too cool for that shit today. You too cool for that shit today, man.
I was fucking with you, man. We having some real good conversation, man. Some good serious topics, man. So
why did you fuck me like that?
But the conversations we've been having so good, I'm like, man, I can't keep cutting them off, man. I gotta let them give a spiel on these particular topics, man. So that's why I went ahead and tell you about it now, man. But it was cool at first, man. We were having the little bullshit topics, but just wanted to fuck with you, man. So.
Well, he was like, oh, what the fuck?
But moving on, man. Like I said, we was talking about some more serious things. But you finished with entertainment? Got anything else in entertainment, sir, you want to mention? That's it. All right.
What else?
What's going on? What's happening?
The disgusting video we saw, what we heard about?
What disgusting video?
Lil Uzi Vert.
Oh,
Lil Uzi Vert.
We out that shit, man. We gonna pay that shit, dog.
Yeah, that's disgusting. They need to stop that shit.
Ain't nobody talking about no little laws, dog. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? Nike put out the same
Moving on.
Holy waters. They make the satanics. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so we just gonna move on from there. So leave it there, baby.
Hey man,
that's wrong.
Okay, all right. Let's move on.
Yeah, boy.
We'll get down to
meat and potatoes, man. Meat and potatoes, man. This is a more serious topic, man. I gotta stop laughing. Much more serious topic here, man. Gun violence. Talk about gun violence real quick, fellas. Real quick, man. And I know, Rex, you've been very passionate about this as of late. About all the gun violence that's been going on here in America. Not that it's nothing new. It's nothing new. We all know it's not new something happening. But it's just alarming that at this point in time, it's steadily increasing. You know what I'm saying? I actually read a couple statistics. They said that 9,539 people have died so far this year from gun violence. And we just in March, people. We just in March. Another 7,254 people have been hurt by it. And we recently had like that thing happening in Boulder, Colorado, stuff happening in Atlanta. Matter of fact, they just stopped another guy in Atlanta. I don't know what his intentions was, but he was in a Publix and he had like 6 guns on him, body armor, all kind of other stuff. Which is alarming because the thing that happened in Boulder, Colorado was happening at a supermarket as well. Another guy I know I read about was stopped in Lexington, Kentucky, with multiple guns and explosives was found in his car. So I'm saying all that to ask the question, and I'm not sure how everybody feel about this. Do y'all think that we need? I want to say stricter gun laws, right? That's the question. That's how I want it, but I feel like I should word it a little bit differently. Do you think that we should address the guns in America completely differently than we have already? Let me ask it that way. I don't want to say just stricter laws, just the way we address gun violence in this country. And I want to start with you, Rex. I want to hear what you got to say first.
Well, I mean, I honestly don't think the gun laws right now are as strict as they can be. And I think
Think so?
sometimes, yeah, I think so. I mean, as far as like legal gun owners, because most of the time when you see these crimes or whatever, mass shootings, let's touch on that. You see a lot of illegally bought guns or guns sold at gun shows or whatnot or whatever. I think the onus need to be put on the gun manufacturers as far as like how they mass produce their product or whatever or something, because they still get profits off those guns, man. So I mean, and at some point for me, I'm getting tired of hearing all this shit about I gotta have this, and just because I have my right to get this, I should be able to get this. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. The number of kids, and I'm talking about kids, I ain't talking about adults and nothing like that. The number of kids dying at the hands of guns, man, is ridiculous. Especially black little kids, man. And that's what need to be put clamped on, and I think they need to go after the gun manufacturers and hold them accountable. And then maybe some of the shit that you're seeing happening might can stop. You probably can start there, but I mean, I really don't see no answer because America, some Americans have this real insatiable love for guns. I'll never understand it. I think the gun was one of the worst inventions ever made. It's done nothing for mankind but bring destruction and death and pain. That's it. It's done nothing positive at all. So, and that's just the way I feel about it. Now, if you ask me if I own guns, hell yeah. Because in this type of world, you got to have that. But I don't have like, high capacity clips, magazines, and 60 round guns or whatever. I got 6 bullets, and that's all I need to defend my home, man. And I just don't, and all this stuff about, it's a sport, it's not a sport because it's not a fucking game. If you can choose you having your guns and playing with your guns over the kids dying, then that's the problem in itself right there.
All right.
I can't put it no plainer.
Brown, I want to hear what you got to say next, sir.
I think that it is going on with gun violence. It's going on for a while. I mean, in our own community, we're killing each other, made the clip. It's doesn't fucking stop. I think it all comes down to how we broke down the black family, and we kind of let shit go by the wayside, man. We're not raising our kids anymore, dog. We ain't doing what we're supposed to do. America has been known to just drop guns and fucking in the hood and keep exposing us to this shit, man, and getting us fucking blown to hell. I mean, the white man has been killing each other forever. They got non-stop mass shootings every fucking year. And the shit that happened in Colorado, man, and that's fucking ridiculous, man. That happened in Atlanta, that's even worse. How the fuck you got a bad day and you go out and kill 8 fucking people? That's fucking ridiculous. I think we've got to really probably look at ways to limit who has access to guns and what type of guns they have access to. I say that, and then on the other hand, I say if we do limit the shit, it's really gonna target us as far as us being limited to guns anyway, and being able to protect our homes and our families and shit. So any way they can do it legally to keep guns out of the hands of the wrong individuals, they need to find a way to do it and do it fast. Some of these shit that here in Charleston alone at the church, that's fucking ridiculous. You got a fucking idiot that came and worshiped people and he killed all of them, trying to kill every last one of them. We really, I don't know what the hell they can do, but it's something got to be done there. I don't know what it is. Well, like Rick said, I have guns, and I plan on keep on buying guns, and I will make sure that my son, when he's ready, is able to operate a handgun and defend himself and protect his property as well. This shit is crazy. I don't know what to tell you, man.
D, I want to hear from you next, and then Hannibal, I want to hear from you after that.
I own guns. I like having my guns. I believe that they need to be in the hands of those who are responsible. I believe that we need to implement. I want to agree with Rex, is that the gun laws are strict now. I just think that what we need to focus on is a universal background check, making sure that that there's no loopholes between you going to a gun show or buying a gun versus going to a shop or a pawn shop or a gun shop. That there's a universal background check that's tied into the FBI, so that everybody, so when you buy a gun, you have to go through that. I also believe, and I'm a gun owner, that if you're going to have certain guns where you're going to have the high caliber or rapid action, that you have to get insurance. We do that for cars. You should have to do that for a gun, that you have to pay liability insurance for having those type of guns. And then the third thing is, we as Black people that are legal, that have the rights to own a gun, if you really want to see gun reform, let a lot of us keep buying guns. And I bet you they'll change. The last time they changed the laws on guns is during the 70s, when the Black Panther Party were legally, displaying their guns on government properties in the 70s. That's when the last sweeping gun laws came about to change, to basically hinder us from having them. Soon as they do that, if we all got involved and started having our guns legally and protecting ourselves, they would change it. And sorry, Terrence, in the technology part, everybody now has a phone that you can have your thumb ID on a phone. I believe if they implemented technology in guns that hinder people from handling them, you will see a lot of things change in America. So that's just how I feel about it.
Okay, Hannibal, what you got, sir?
Thumbprint for your weapon. It won't fire unless it's identified as your thumbprint.
What movie was that in?
That Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes.
They did that too.
Yes. Continue, Hannibal.
All right, so
Judge Dredd too.
Yeah, Judge Dredd also.
Right.
Pretty much, it's like this. If you're gonna have weapons, like I say, the restrictions are already higher than they ever been before. One of the biggest complaints is, it's like you say, rapid fire weapons. You can't buy rapid fire weapons out of your everyday store. You can't go to Walmart and get a rapid fire weapon. You can't go to no gun shop and get a rapid fire weapon. You can't even go to and get a rapid fire weapon, a gun show and get a rapid fire weapon. In order for somebody to get a rapid fire weapon, that weapon is smuggled over here. That's one of the things we got to really look, the government has to really look into at themselves, is why are we putting all these dangerous weapons, rapid fire weapons? Because no one should own an AK-47 and it's out there and it's rapid fire, bow, 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 bow. You just holding the trigger and just spraying and praying. You ain't even aiming at nobody. Half the motherfuckers that's out here that got guns and they killing people, they don't even know how to motherfucker clean that motherfucker. They don't even know how to take that bitch apart and take proper care of that weapon. All they know is that's why they go for them fucking AK-47, because you ain't gotta clean that bitch. That bitch gonna fire regardless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How do we keep guns like that off of the street? You know what I'm saying? Like those type of weapons. How you keep those fully automatic weapons off of the streets, out of the hands of the criminals? Because when you hinder everybody else that's legally able to purchase a weapon, you know who you're not hindering? You're not hindering people that work on the street workers or anybody like that who live in the streets, who get down in the streets, and they have access to those type of weapons. You're not hindering, because you're not making it harder for them to own a weapon. You're making it harder for the people who are out here doing things the right way. You're making it harder for them to protect themselves from the people who have the legal. So that's the tricky thing that they have to figure out when it comes down to it. That's the real tricky thing that they have to figure out. You know what I'm saying? All those senators and stuff that was quick to come out when Black Lives Matter was marching and they were quick to pull their gun. People like that, they shouldn't own no fucking weapon. Why out of your house? This, that, and the third. You display that. They just cause the violence, the erupt the violence more. People like that shouldn't have one.
You know,
They,
oh, go ahead.
Not, you know, they're too afraid. They're too scary. They don't have the mental capacity to be able to forward think through action what you need whenever you have a concealed weapons permit. You know what I'm saying? The actions, the steps to take, and all the other stuff. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. That's the one big thing, though. Like, what is the U.S. gonna look inside at themselves and say, "Hey, we gotta stop smuggling these weapons over here." Or how do they stop it? War on drugs, you still providing war and guns. I mean, drugs and guns into the neighborhoods that you all talking about. Chirac, you talking about Chicago, all those places that's always number one on the on the areas of killing.
I personally, I don't think that people need semi-automatic rifles, AR-15s. I don't think anybody needs those at home. But here's the problem. Like what Hannibal said, they're getting illegally, fully automatics are getting illegally transferred, imported here into America. And, you know, even though they made AR-15s available for purchase, the criminals have them, right? So if the criminals got them, then law-abiding people need to have them as well, because if all you got is handguns and a shotgun at your home, and somebody coming in with a semi-automatic rifle, man, you might be assed out. So I mean,
you mean fully automatic?
Or semi-automatic. I mean, like AR-15 style. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just speaking on AR-15 style assault rifles. And so, like, I don't think anybody should have fully automatic or semi-automatic. You know what I mean? Rifles. Assault rifles is what I mean. Semi-automatic assault rifles. But if the criminals got them, then shit, I need to have something just as bad. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna protect my house or protect my person, man, I need to have something just as good or better than what they got, man. I think there needs to. I personally think there need to be stricter gun laws in America. I'm all for legally owning guns. I own a few myself. I advise people to get their CWP. You know what I mean? So you can have your stuff with you wherever you go, and because that shit that happened in Colorado, that shit could happen anywhere. You know what I'm saying? He was just going to the people was just at the grocery store, just like the guy that got stopped. The guy, his name was Rico Marley. He got stopped in Atlanta walking into a Publix. Like, why would you need to carry your assault rifle into a grocery store? Like, they stopped him before anything happened. But if he says, well, I'm just shopping, I wasn't going to do anything, why the fuck you need your rifle with you to go shopping? You know what I'm saying? And so allowing people to just walking around with all this stuff, man, is dangerous. It's hot, and as we've seen and witnessed, it's very dangerous to allow people to have these things. And I don't think everybody don't need to have no goddamn assault. That's how I feel, man. You know, if you hunting, you don't need an assault rifle to hunt. You know what I'm saying? If it's a sport, then you don't need to be having it out. If it's for a sport, you should only need it when you go into the sporting event. You know what I mean, just having it going around just randomly, that shit just don't make no sense to me, man. And, you know what I mean? I'm highly against even the right now in South Carolina trying to pass the open carry bill. Wow, I'm a firm believer in my CWP and having my stuff on me. I don't think open and carry is a good idea. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a good idea, man, because you know, people feel they want to poke their chest out when they feel they got something that can help them do a lot of damage. You know what I'm saying? If you got a bat with you, you're gonna feel more brazen than if you didn't have a bat. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got people openly carrying guns on their hips, they're gonna talk a lot more shit. Everybody don't take shit. You know what I'm saying? Some people gonna have some shit to say. I just think it's a recipe for disaster, personally, man. So I think they should restrict the gun law. I don't think they should be so free with this shit. We are not in 1776 where we needed militias and all the other stuff like that. We're not 200 years ago, man. We in a progressive state of mind, and that's how we should be behaving. We shouldn't be having laws that cater to something that happened 200 years ago. We need laws that surrounding the times we in now, not back then.
Prime, you got to think about it. A lot of these people who want to carry, they want to fulfill this feeling of being superior than others, because now they're being called out. They've been transitioned as they're saying, oh, this is part of the cancel culture. I can't do this and that. No, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're calling somebody out something, like the ladies, the Karens, and you got these guys now that say, hey, I can't say something to somebody else, so they got to carry they shit on their hip, because they want to feel Billy Badass. And I agree with you, because I'm one of these brothers. You say something to my family, I don't care if you got something on you or not. I'm gonna put you in check. Just because you got a sidearm on you, I'm still gonna say something to you. That's just how I'm built.
Yeah, in response to what you said, if you want to feel superior, do it without the gun. You know what I mean? If you got something to say about your stance, say it without the gun. You know what I'm saying? If you's a man and you big Billy Badass as you want to feel, do it without the gun. You know what I'm saying? The gun don't help you have your point of view. Your point of view is your point of view. You know what I mean? The gun only make you feel protected for somebody whipping your ass from your point of view. You know what I'm saying? Even like with the Karen, them people, them Karens and people like that, they feel like the law protects them so they can say what they want to say. If the law wasn't there, would you say, if you didn't feel like that law was protecting you, would you still open your mouth and say what you say to me, say to my face what you feel like saying? You know what I'm saying? If that law wasn't protecting you. So don't you, my point is, don't let these laws get you fucked up out here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Don't let these laws get your ass pummeled out in these streets because you feel like you protected. You know what I'm saying? Because the cops ain't gonna get you quick and not get your ass. You know what I'm saying?
If we started carrying our guns openly once they pass these laws, they'll change their mind real quick.
Didn't I say that earlier?
Yep.
I said as soon as brothers start buying guns and carrying them, we got our own clinics.
Go
ahead.
A shotgun, what we carry that. Those semi-automatic rifles, you can open carry those.
See, the scary thing I have about that is that our ignorant younger brothers and sisters that feel like they still got all these chips on their shoulders and they got all the shit to prove out here in these streets to these other cats. You know what I mean? They want to prove their bravado because they now carrying open. You know what I mean? They're gonna feel more ready to use it. You know what I'm saying? Against their own brother over some bullshit. Somebody step on their sneakers and now they want to pull out their gun.
But again, Terrence, this is the thing, and I think everybody.
Just call me Prime, man. Just say Prime.
I'm sorry. God damn it.
You gotta get 3 fines. You gotta get 3 fines. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'll bring you a bottle of this new stuff I'm drinking on. You like that? Like that?
Lord.
but
he's starting again.
On the real, this is how I feel about it. If we had our own network, we teach brothers and sisters the proper way to carry their guns. When I got my first gun, I had to go to an entire class, a whole session. This was in Abbeville, South Carolina. After I got out of college, and one of my co-workers, he was a big redneck, loved to take people hunting. His thing was if he helped you get a gun to go hunting with, you had to take the classes. And he said the one thing that the classes and being certified and having your license to do certain things, you don't behave that way, because they teach you the behavior, how you're supposed to handle your guns. Most people that are creating this violence, a lot of them never gone through that type of training to do that. And y'all boys who've been in the military that have guns, y'all know the responsibilities. You know that you got to have it locked up. A lot of people, like these kids that are getting killed with their parents' guns, they're buying guns and somebody at the store said, hey, you need to put this in this safe. They don't go through the whole class and training of how to properly handle guns. If we did that, if we do that big PT prime time, had to clean it up. Because I ain't gonna be buying no 3 bottles. I'm gonna give you 2 of them. Be good.
He caught himself that time.
I think if we did that, that'll really cut down on this crime in our own communities. A lot of the stuff happening, the guys who don't know how to handle a gun.
Let me ask you a question, man. Brown, I want to hear what you got to say about it because I know, Brown, you very big on community activism, as well as you, D. I know y'all boy big on this stuff. You know how fellas always want to come in, and do the mentorship thing and try to show young brothers, about finance, about things, and proper behavior. If we already know that these young cats are going to be ignorant to the fact. Not ignorant overall, but ignorant to the fact, and they're gonna have possession of these guns. You think it's prudent for us to go into these hoods and say, "Hey, listen, I'm not gonna tell you don't use guns because you're not gonna listen to me anyway. But let me show you how to properly use it, not in an official stance where after you finish this lesson you're gonna now be certified or nothing like that. But we know these cats are gonna do shit because they don't want to listen anyway." But at least give them the proper education so maybe they can maybe make that better decision down the line or the way they're handling these guns because people gonna carry guns, they're gonna do the shit. So let's just try to show them, hey, let me teach this CWP type content for free. You know what I'm saying? Just so you're not just carelessly out here hurting each other. You know what I mean? And there's a much more a better way for you to be interacting with these guns and stuff like that. They may not take it, but at least we try. We step in them and say, you know what? Here's how you should be doing things. You know what I mean? And at least somebody showed them instead of just leaving them to their own devices. What y'all thought about it?
How old are these kids, Brian? These kids you talking about?
I would say start at fucking 14, 15, 16. Because shit, that's how young they are when they start carrying the guns. You might as well start young. Don't wait until they're 18 and start trying to show them and teach them.
The only problem with that is you kind of enabling them. And when you do that, because at 14 and 15 and 16, you're not supposed to have a goddamn gun.
No, but
we already know.
Let me respond with this, Riggs. You don't think your son or your daughter should be having sex until they're older, but you would talk to them about sex when they're like 12. You don't expect them to have sex at 12, but you still tell them about it.
Dude, my first gun I was 13.
Yeah, I was about 12, 13 years.
Okay, where y'all get them guns from?
Your parents.
I got mine illegally because I was a rock boy back in the days, and I'm going to be up front.
Most of the time, young kids get guns illegally, man. They don't just. You can't go buy a gun when you're 15 or 16. No. So I mean, and to get back to your point, Prime, I understand what you're saying about sex, but that's apples and oranges. Because, and I mean, in a roundabout way, you can die from sex or whatever. What? That don't normally happen like that, but more than likely you gonna die from a. See, I was trying not to touch on that.
My bad. I need to get off track. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah. I saw the body face, and Hannibal looked at you like you crazy.
I've been trying to gloss over that. Yeah, just trying to gloss over that part. That's my bad. But I mean, seriously, at 15 and 16, instead of. I mean, I dig where you're coming from because, as far as like giving them knowledge and information, just like how D said about, people when they get their guns and they go to these classes and they think differently about how they handle their guns. Even with us in the military, when we got qualified, we was taught differently. That's how come I act certain ways with my guns. But for a youngster, I mean, I'll tell you like this, the first time I had a 357 in my hand. I was 15 years old, and I couldn't tell you how powerful holding that gun in my hand at that time made me feel, man. There's just something about it, and I don't think teenagers mature enough to handle that. No matter what type of teaching you give them or whatever, I don't think they're mature enough, man. Unless they're going in the military.
I got one thing. I'll go ahead, Hannibal.
It's more about if we at least put the knowledge out there and give them opportunity to learn about guns safely.
Yeah,
that makes them at least be safer with the gun
and know how to handle it better. That way
you're not gonna reach.
Oh,
what you want to do is reach as many as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't,
And I want. I'm sorry, Hannibal.
Go ahead, Hannibal.
No, go ahead, Hannibal.
never real reach. And I can honestly say, I have never felt any less powerful or more powerful with a gun. I can honestly say that. I can honestly say that having a gun and not having one, I have never felt any less or more powerful with or without.
So my whole thing is this, that I want to be able to teach them and help them understand the consequences, because, you know, some people know this, some people don't. I've got hit by a bullet before when I was younger, doing some dumb shit in Colombia a long time ago, over there by Benedict in the projects over there back in the days, wilding out. I think I was in 11th grade. The thing is, and it was a ricochet more than anything else. But the point is, if you teach somebody when they're young to understand the consequences or the time they can get behind having a gun, right? Like Q, and also like Hannibal said, if someone knows that, hey, I may go do this, but I may get 5 years for having some weight, but shit, I may get 20 years because I got a unregistered gun on me, and I have a prior. That's the thing that I think if we really start educating brothers on at a younger age, they will get it, because them cats don't want to go up for that amount of time.
I don't know.
I want to add in response to what you said, Rex. I understand what you're saying, that's not something we should, but it's something I always try to teach my son. There's the way things should be, and then there's the way things are. Now, you shouldn't have to teach your kid about guns or anything like that at that young of an age. But how we know things are, they're dealing with these guns and they're doing things with these guns, and we know this personally from family instances. You know what I mean? As young as he was, he shouldn't have been connected with that at all. However, it still happened, and it happens all over the place. These 12, 13, 14-year-olds, man, they do a whole lot of shit they ain't supposed to be doing, but they doing it. And we can't just say, well, I'm gonna just sit back and wait until they're old enough to start giving them that information. Let's give them the information. And, you know, if they still make the wrong decision, you know what I mean? I still preach consequence, understand the consequences of your actions, you know what I mean? But at least we give them the information at the very least. We don't know what they're gonna do with it, but we shouldn't shy away from providing it simply because they're younger. You know what I mean? But that's what I was trying to say.
I just think that at that age, man, and I don't know how many of y'all can remember when you've been 12 or 13 or whatever, but you're not responsible at all.
Yes, you are.
So I mean, huh?
Yes, you are. I don't know. I don't know.
You talk responsibility.
Yeah.
You're 13.
Yeah, 12. Before then, you taught that. Like I about to like. So
what I think Rex trying to say is that you're not.
Wait a minute. When I say responsible at that age, I mean you're gonna do stupid stuff. You're gonna do immature stuff. You're a child. You're still a child. You can't put kids in a man's position, man. That's just like what happened in me and Prime just kind of touched on it just now. My cousin is 15, man. He's been 15 years old, and he was not thinking. And he's been told plenty of times that, hey, this ain't the life for you. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. When he went out his house Thanksgiving morning, he was going to either try to kill that dude or get killed, and he got killed. This is the type of situation that these kids do not need to be in, and adults need to start standing up and making sure that these kids are not in these situations, dog. When we been that age, when we were around by that age, man, we was not thinking about all that type of stuff because of the people around us who had us thinking about different type of stuff. Now, it was plenty of dudes that when our age back then that were into that type of shit because they've been raising that shit. Well, but I mean, at the same time, I just don't think that these kids deserve that. They deserve a chance to be able to grow and sprout, man, without having to deal with that type of adult situation. You know, and I mean, and I understand what y'all saying. I understand what y'all saying as far as like teaching them and giving them the information or whatever. But the whole point is get the guns out their fucking hands.
Well,
that's it.
I'm gonna say this. Because as a gent growing up in the country, so to speak, I knew about guns. I knew about how powerful they were. I knew where they were in the house. The thing was, I was never gonna go again. I knew how to responsibly handle the weapon. My step told me exactly where it was. If something was to happen, what I need to do. I knew all of that. You know what I'm saying? I just think for some kids like the 12 to 10-year-old, I knew kids at my school who had guns. They had guns on them because they were caught up in their life. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, they was on a life path where they had to have it. I ain't never saw none of them draw down on somebody at school. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't know what it is. I can only go by my upbringing and what I went and what I got to see and everything that I got to see.
No,
it's so fucked up people, and it's best that you go ahead and teach your kids about weapons and how to properly use a weapon, not for the protection, because like I said, my stepdaddy went hunting. You know what I'm saying? He also talked about protection, but he also taught me how to properly use a weapon whenever you go, what you need to do.
Let me ask you a quick question, Hannibal. When you was talking about when you was young and you knew where all the guns was, did you go and touch them guns?
No.
Thank you. You know why?
Because I was responsible.
I gotta push.
No,
back.
because you was taught to not touch them goddamn guns. That's why.
See, I gotta push back.
I guarantee an adult told you that.
Rex, I want to push back something. Hold on, Hannibal. Hold on.
How to not to touch weapons or whatever.
But
I just was responsible enough to know better not to go and touch a gun or for a stupid reason.
Right. All right.
It wouldn't be to ever go and touch it.
Well, that's what I want to say. Because I want to push back on what you were saying, Rex, and I'm gonna piggyback off something after what you just said, Hannibal. Just because an adult taught you something doesn't mean the kid is going to listen. It depends on the child whether or not they decide that they want to listen to what that adult has been teaching them. And we all know every kid that get caught up in the life, the criminal life, wasn't always a bad kid. You know, let me put it back. They didn't always come from bad house upbringings. You know what I mean? They wasn't always raised to be a criminal. You know what I mean? Even my best friend that got killed 15 years ago, his household wasn't a terrible household. He had a great mom. You know what I'm saying? He chose to do the things he was doing. You know what I mean? And she was on his ass all the time. She was on his ass. But he just decided to do otherwise. So it ain't just simply because you have a responsible adult in the household doesn't automatically mean the child is going to follow. You know what I mean? What I was just saying that as a responsible adult, we should be the ones putting that information out to the kids, and hopefully we can change the minds of some of the ones that may be a little lost. They may not know what direction they want to go in. You know what I mean? But you're going to have those bad apples that say, man, fuck you. I don't care what you say. I'm going to do what the hell I want to do anyway. You can't tell me what to do. Those kids are going to exist. You're not going to stop those kids from having that state of mind. But we can interject and hopefully save some of the kids that aren't getting that from home or getting that from people in their family and their lives by putting that information out there so that they can hopefully make the better decision.
I want to touch on something you said, Prime. When you said, you got to get and just about the psychological aspect. And when you look at a lot of things that go on, usually you introduce a kid knowledge of something beforehand. Usually they handle the situation better, and we all have seen it. When you talk and know about certain situations, the more they know about it, the more likely are to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I respect that. I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do that because I know that if you don't teach them early, how are they supposed to know? Right, they may know news, they may know wrong because the other people might have said something, but no one's taught them what's wrong, what's right, or what's the proper way something should be used, or how to protect themselves without. So, like teaching them early can be a productive counter step that we take. You know, it can be a productive teaching them gun safety, not giving them a gun, teaching them gun safety. Just all you're doing is just teaching gun safety. You're not
information.
You're not giving them access to a gun. You're not even giving them the ability to own a gun. You just teaching them gun safety.
Right.
Sometimes having that knowledge is enough to deter. Sometimes, not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, just not enough to deter.
Yep.
All right. So fellas, we go ahead and wrap that segment up. I think we feel slightly different in certain ways about it, but I think
we feel totally different. We feel totally different about it.
But I think we have the same sentiment.
Let me hear
We have the
something
same sentiment. Go ahead, Brian. Because after this, we're gonna go ahead and get in our last segment so we can put a knot in this episode.
So Rex, we have conversations about how if you don't teach your kids, who will? So if you're not willing to give them that guidance, that knowledge up front, the streets will teach them eventually.
Yes, I know that all too well.
So it's better for you to get to them yourself before the streets get to them. So that's how I look at the whole situation as far as explaining gun consequences of ownership of a gun or having a gun, possessing a gun, or teaching kids how to properly maintain or operate the guns. If you don't do it, somebody else will, and eventually they'll be taught the wrong way.
Very true. Very true.
Hey, very true. Very true.
Brown. All right. That was our conversation on gun control, man. I think everybody has some pretty good points to make. We may not have agreed on everything, but we had a discussion. That's what it's all about, man. Having a discussion, open, honest discussion, man. So after that, we're gonna jump into our last segment, our favorite segment. Sit your ass down. Now, D, if you don't know anything about this segment, this is the segment where we tell somebody that did something stupid shit this week that we completely disagree with, and we tell them to sit their ass the fuck down. Now, I want Rex to go first on this week's edition of Sit Your Ass Down. I already know what's coming, but I want to hear it.
Well, let me tell you one thing, cuz Rex is glad to go first. He's been thinking about this Sit Your Ass Down segment for the whole entire week. And Rex feels this way since this young man has influenced him so much to become a better man. I'm trying to be like Derek Jackson. And I'm going to speak about myself in the third person. How about that? We y'all fellas think about that. Derek Jackson has been fooling people for over a decade. He's been blowing bullshit and smoke up people's asses. He's a hot bag of gas that needs to sit his ass down. Derek Jackson is a disgrace. And I'm glad he finally got exposed. Derek, sit your ass down. Sit your ass down.
I like it. I like it. I love it. I like it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna go next real quick. My person for Sit Your Ass Down is the headmaster of St. Martin de Porres Marianist. I think I said that right. The Catholic school.
We hope so. We hope so, because you like butchering up names.
In Long Island, New York. He's the headmaster, or he was the headmaster of that Catholic school in Long Island, New York. He has since resigned, but I don't want him to sit his ass down for this bullshit he did trying to have that black young man kneel in order to apologize for getting ahead or trying to get ahead in his work, man. For you to come out and say that, for one, for the teacher to come to you and tell you that the reason why they're bringing the student to you is because the student went ahead in his work. For one, you accepted that bullshit of an excuse or reason. And then number two, you use a bullshit ass reason about some former student, not even a current student, somebody you saw yesterday, last week, or last month, a former student, which means that person no longer goes to that school. So I mean, it could be at least a year since you even ran into this. And you decided now was the time for you to apply something that you learned. Man, get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit, man. You need to sit your dumb ass down, man. They're just stupid. You deserve to be fired for that shit, man. All right, Brian, what you got, sir?
Oh man, I want to follow up on Rex, man. I think we got to sit down. All the Derrick Jackson followers, all of the women who've been running around screaming, yelling, Jesus Christ, I want the man.
No,
like,
Brown, not all of them. All of them.
I want a Derrick Jackson. But guess what? You've always had a Derrick Jackson in your life. He's been telling you exactly what it was.
See, you always had a
So long. You already had Derrick Jackson. He just told you to leave your Derrick Jackson alone. Now you want to sit your retarded ass down.
Forward. Damn, not retarded. Shit. Coloring book class retarded? Or just don't think all the way through.
That's Brown. Brown. All right, Hannibal, you up next, sir. Thank you for that, Brown.
Get him.
Sit down. The same governor that cheated, Stacey Abrams, will become governor of the Grease. I want to sit down that motherfucker, Brian Jim Crow Kemp. I want to sit that son of a bitch down. How the fuck are you talking about some fucking cheating when it comes to fucking vote? When the only reason your ass is motherfucking seated as a governor is because the motherfuckers cheated so your punk ass can get in there. What kind of bullshit is that? Ain't nobody had to cheat to win. Trump lost that shit on his damn with his goddamn his tongue coming out of his mouth. Nobody cheat to put Joe off to become president. People are just sick and tired of that orange motherfucker fucking it up, saying all kind of bullshit, fucking up relations around the world. People were sick of it. Nobody had to cheat to do that bullshit. It was white people who were sick of that bullshit. You didn't Republicans, racists as a motherfucker say, we can't put up this bullshit no more. Get him the fuck out of there. Fight the niggas. Get him out of there. Now, right? You are the gum at the bottom of the church pew. Matter of fact, you the gum at the bottom of the desk in detention. And y'all know them desks be old as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He a piece of shit. Sit your ass down, Brian.
Man, you just saying that man the hell with gasoline draws, man. You done flaming that nigga, man.
You don't deserve gasoline the hell.
Flame that nigga, man.
You working in your arms, having sex with kids.
Wow.
Oh man. All right, Mr. D, man. Now, do you want to participate in this week's Sit Your Ass Down?
Shit.
I want to sit Pollen down too. Cause that shit fucking me up right now.
hey, I think everybody want Paul to sit their ass down though. That shit is a killer right now.
And go outside. So did you have somebody you want to participate and sit your ass down for this week, sir?
It's this movement that's been going on that I really want them to sit their ass down. It's these people who felt that the election was fraud, that they have been believing Mr. Orange, and they've now gotten this momentum with the voting rights and everything, like, you know, Hannibal and everybody else is talking about. That Trump lawyer this week, last week, she came about and said that she did not believe in the stuff. Okay, I'm almost done, baby. No, not right now. My wife, Terrence. I'm sorry. That's another bottle.
You did it again.
Another bottle. The point is that I want her to sit her ass down because she said that nobody really believed that the election was stolen from them, that the machines were really broken. So by saying that, you're basically saying that y'all lied. And the other thing that I want them to sit their ass down on, that we need to hold them accountable, is that whenever they went to court, to the Supreme Court, to argue their point, they never mentioned that the machines were broken. They never mentioned that they felt that the election was robbed. They need to sit their ass down, and we need to call them out on that. Because of that, we have all these QAnon and these crazy wahoos now believing that the election was fraud. They need to sit their ass down, because if they sit their ass down, then Hannibal
we be able to tell Kemp and those other assholes to sit their asses down in Georgia. So that's my beef with what's going on this week, man.
Very true.
Y'all stole a lie, and now y'all don't even want to admit to the lie. That's my problem with these assholes.
Thank you for that, sir. Thank you for that. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. She basically said we were lying the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. All right, fellas. That has been another episode. We definitely ran along today, man. But with good conversation. I really enjoyed everything that we were debating on, talking about, ideas on, as far as all the topics today, man. So, thank you for joining us today, Mr. Dirty D, as you want to be called.
Yeah. Sorry, prime time.
Yeah, you are. You flipped up quite a few times this episode, man. But
yeah,
I got that slide. We're gonna let that slide, man.
Got 3 bottles.
We're gonna go ahead and tie a knot in this thing, man. This has been another wonderful episode of Primarily Speaking. You know where to catch us at. You know where to find us at. We on YouTube, we on Facebook, we on Instagram. We are also on Anchor FM and a few other Spotify too. There's a few other platforms. So check us out, man. You know how to find us. PRIMERILY, speaking, no spaces, underscores, or dashes. Holla at your folk, man. I have been your host, Mr. Prime, and Azul to the 25.
No doubt. And I am still the Total Package Rex Devereaux. Port City original. Definitely one of downtown's finest. Taking it out, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, I am one. This week we gonna holler at you.
Yo, it's your boy, Mr. Alabama Slimmer. And we out.
You want to give a salutation on the way out, Mr. D, or you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Just, hey, love being here. Great to be around a bunch of positive Black men. And primarily speaking, I'm blessed to be here.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you joining us today, man. It was a pleasure to have you and participate in the conversation.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Hey, cuz, hold up. You got to treat him like Craig. I mean, you got to treat him like Smokey. You got to come back. Come back. Come back.
So in conclusion, man, I just got one couple things I want to say. Deuces, motherfuckers.
Good.